Mental for Miss Sally Firth.
Well, hello everyone. It's lovely to see you, though you probably weren't expecting to see me up here. I'm usually cage fighting on Sundays. Unfortunately, I've been banned. Something to do with not understanding what no holds barred means. So Matt said I could try some stand-up comedy. I've got a lot of time on my hands since the Samaritans asked me to leave. I did try adult education, but words cannot describe the humiliation that was life-drawing for beginners. I know they say a bad workman blames his tools, but there are some images not even a 6B pencil can capture. I almost didn't make it here tonight. I only was granted bail yesterday. What a fuss to make about pepper spraying a man who put his feet on the tube seats. Oh, by the way, my name's Sally, and I'm married to Roger. Not the Roger that's here, I have to add. My Roger is an oxymoron. By that I mean he's too stupid to be allowed to breathe. For years he thought the Paralympics was the Olympics in Paris. Last Monday, Roger spent an hour in the dentist's chair. The dentist was furious. It was his lunch hour. On Tuesday he went to the opticians and the lady in Vision Express couldn't find his records anywhere. Turns out he should have gone to Specsavers. Roger and I are both at home during the day, though he's still working and I'm retired. I do my best to keep my distance. For example, I have my lunch, usually a tuna baguette and a chicken cup of soup, on a tray in front of the television so I can catch up on the latest episode of My Lover, My Killer. If I want some light relief, there's always Meet, Marry, Murder. After lunch, I might spend some time on my serial killer jigsaw. I have finished the Yorkshire Ripper, but I'm still looking for Ted Bundy's legs. Roger has his lunch on a tray in his study. Sometimes I mess with his head by taking him coffee in a mug marked tea. I always make sure to WhatsApp Roger before going upstairs, just in case he's getting some light relief. We don't want a repeat of the Trump inauguration fiasco. Roger also gets an hour to himself most days when I go for my walk, during which time he can release his tensions. Now ladies, we know that men have needs, but we don't have to be there when they satisfy them. Roger's like a lot of men, I suppose. He thinks about sex when he's doing other things. I think about other things. When I'm doing sex with Roger. He's not very romantic either. If I want my hand held, I have to go to the nail bar. Sex with Roger. It's like going to the hairdresser. In the beginning, you're full of optimism, thinking this time it will be different. Halfway through, you realise you're not going to get the desired result. And at the end, even though you're disappointed, you say, "Thank you. That was lovely." when they show you your rear view in the mirror. And 6 weeks later, you have to do it all again. I have tried bringing a photograph to show what I wanted, but that didn't work. And as for offering a tip at the end, don't even go there. Now, you might think that Roger would be good at sex because he spends so much time practicing when I'm out. But sadly, that's not the case. All these years together, and he still needs a sat-nav to find my G-spot. We did try role play. Roger pretended he was head of the household. And I pretended I believed him. So you can understand how upset I was when he said to me recently, "You are so predictable. Why don't you ever surprise me? Dress up or something." So the next day when he got back from his walk, I did surprise him. I was wearing his mother's clothes. He wasn't laughing. I always thought he wanted me to be a bit more like her, you see, but it didn't go down well. I think it was too soon after her funeral. If I'd known Roger had a weak heart, I'd have done that ages ago. Anyway, the ambulance men were amazing. I take my hat off to them. It was Roger's mother's hat. Oh, that reminds me, years ago, when our son Johnny was little, Roger refused to take me out to lunch on Mother's Day because he said I wasn't his mother. So this year on Father's Day, I'm going to tell him, "You're not Johnny's father." Now, some of you might think that was a bit unkind or even cruel, but Roger's been doing a number of things recently that really irritate me, like waking up. Having said that, when he's asleep, his snoring keeps me awake. I was thinking about buying an anti-snore pillow, but then I realised any pillow's anti-snore. If you put it over someone's face. These days, my memory is terrible. I keep forgetting that I've got a husband. And it's a real shock to wake up in the morning and find him lying next to me, still alive. I had another surprise recently. I was in the supermarket and I needed the loo, and you know what? They've got a condom machine in the ladies at Tesco. Now, I know you're surprised. You thought I shopped at Waitrose, didn't you? Now, as I was leaving Tesco, I was approached by a homeless man who said, "Any change?" I had to tell him, "Sorry, no. My husband's still useless in bed." Then while I got to the car park, a random man had a go at me for what he called selfish parking. So I stabbed him. No, of course I didn't. I waited till he was out of sight and then I keyed his car. I was a bit of a late starter sexually. I was 20. It was because I wanted the first one to be special. And he was. He had special requirements. He could only become aroused if I covered him in baby oil while he was watching videos of Only Fools and Horses. Then he asked me to dress up as Trigger and I called him Dave. The one after that was a masochist and he begged me to hurt him. So I slept with his best friend. He said that wasn't what he meant, so I had to think of something else. I waited till he videoed the whole of the Japanese Grand Prix, and then, just as he sat down to watch it from the beginning, I told him who'd won. I didn't have much sex when I was a teenager because my mother said to me, "The way to man's heart is through his stomach." And in those days, I wasn't good in the kitchen. Eventually I found out if you go down about 6 inches, it's a lot quicker, more effective, and you don't have to stand up for so long. These days my mum's in a persistent vegetative state, or as I like to call it, constantly watching Countdown. If she sees an ugly person on the television, she'll say, well, he can't help what he looks like, but he could stay indoors. Now, she said that when she first met Roger, but I wasn't put off. She also told me that if I lived with him, he'd never marry me. I do wish she'd been right. Within weeks of our meeting, we'd moved in together, and we were doing the things that married people do, having sex when only one person wants it, not having sex because the other person doesn't want it, and lying together silently side by side in the darkness after sex, which neither of us wanted, but both of us thought the other one did. I sometimes think I'd rather read a good book than have bad sex, though I can do both at once. These days I do my best not to overstimulate Roger, and to that end I only ever serve decaffeinated coffee in the evenings as a precaution. But if I really want to dampen his ardour, I replace his Viagra with laxatives. I will occasionally oblige though, because I find afterwards he's much more willing to clean the oven. Anyway, I think it's time I went. I'm due at the Comedy Store in an hour. Unfortunately, one of the bouncers is ill and they've asked me to cover his shift. Thank you very much. I've been Sally Firth. Thank you.
Give it up for the amazing Sally Firth. That woman can write a joke and live a life. Right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your fabulous headliner? Awesome. It's going to take him a while to get down here, so keep going mental and give him a massive Rum Monkey comedy welcome as we bring to our stage, it's Mr. Michael Hackett!